viewers and listeners out there.
Let's start with some of the issues, of course, happening in the country. There's a lot of issues around the rule of law, a lot of issues coming out around opposition. The opposition saying that there is political persecution happening in the country. What do you make of the recent happenings, or what happened today? The Archbishop of Lusaka being summoned by the Drug Enforcement Commission. What has the leadership movement made from this situation?
Okay, thank you very much for that question, Cheswa. Allow me to start by saying that for those that might not know me, I'm Ntazana Musukuma. I'm Chawama aspiring member of parliament under the Leadership Movement Party. I am contesting the seat primarily because I feel that the people of Chawama have been abandoned, neglected for so long. I'm someone that was born and bred at John Howard Market in Chawama constituency. I attended school at Kamlanga, Arakan, David Kaunda, Tekenko High School, University of Zambia. I studied public administration. I have a bachelor's and also a master's in public administration, specializing in government and administration. As we speak, I'm a lecturer at the National Institute of Public Administration. Of course, I've served as a senior local government officer in the past, and I've also served as District AIDS Coordination Advisor for Chitambo District. I have also worked as a lecturer at the University of Zambia, where I taught social policy. Indeed, Chaswe, the question you have just asked me is a very important question. You know, as an expert in government and administration, I should actually advise. I should start by advising that it is important that as a nation, we understand the various roles of the various actors in our governance and administration system. It is not right, for example, for men of God to involve themselves in politics. I think that politics have to be left to political players. Let the church be there to spearhead spiritual growth. Otherwise, we get to a situation whereby we begin to fight the people that should be able to lead us in the area of faith, for example. Now, as to whether the particular sermon is persecution or not, we leave that to the people to judge. Because at the same time, indeed, we do have the law. So if you are found to be in possession of property that is suspected to have accrued to you through, criminal means, there surely the law enforcers have an obligation due to a mandate to investigate. At the end of the day, in this context, DEC is merely playing its role. But also, of course, to some extent, when you look at what has even been happening in the past concerning the said bishop, it might feel, because you see, he has not been seen to be in good standing with the current government. So, from that perspective, it can be argued that truly he's being persecuted. Therefore, both points of view hold water in this case. So overall, we just leave it to the Zambian people to judge.
Was it wrong for political players to offer him solidarity earlier today at the Drug Enforcement Commission offices?
Why should political players begin to offer solidarity to a man of God that is being investigated. Why should it be like that? What is their interest?
Was the leadership movement present?
The leadership movement was not present there. The leadership movement was not present there. We may wish to note that the leadership movement party is one of the most serious political groupings in this country. Our focus is a productive and prosperous nation. Our focus is to ensure that we engage Zambians on the need to understand that, for example, we need to take the lead as Zambians in mining, in agriculture. We need to establish state farms, and so on and so forth. We cannot have a situation, comrade, whereby our people are able to mine using pick and shovel, but the entire government machinery is unable to conduct mining under the disguise that they have no capacity. That one does not make sense. So we need to be very serious as a nation to be able to take charge, to exploit our minerals to the benefit of Zambians. Leadership movement is here, as the name entails, to be the lead in offering leadership. That is why you will not see the leadership movement entertaining even these, fake alliances. An alliance that will just be based on wanting to win, for example, a single by-election in Chawama constituency. See what happened after the Petauke, election. There was an alliance, and some people scooped that seat. Is that alliance in existence today? You find that the issue of alliances itself is a joke. No wonder you will not see the leadership movement party entertaining that. We are here, we are unique, we are a formidable force, and we are the best alternative to the challenges, that Zambians are going through today. We are the best alternative government to the current regime. And people need to understand that it is time that Zambians opened their eyes to listen to one Dr. Richard Disirumbe, president of the Leadership Movement Party. What he says is the way to go. Listen to his ideas on mining. Listen to his ideas on agriculture. The problem that we have in this country is that for serious leaders like Dr. Richard Disirumbe, when they are speaking, you find that people somehow do not want to listen. But when the jokers are in the media and they are saying, Mweresa, mwamufumishe kui, againde, those are the things that begin to trend. You understand?
We'll talk about agriculture and mining. We'll touch on that. But let's exhaust the issues around the church equally playing their role in issues of national development. Where must the church really end at playing their role in issues around that involve national development? Do you think that there is a misunderstanding with what the church must be doing? Do you think that they've been able to unite this country enough?
To a large extent, the men of God in this country seem to cross the boundary. They seem to cross the boundary. You find them actively involved in politics. You literally see some of them being partisan. It is not supposed to be like that. A man of God should exercise political neutrality. The church itself should never engage itself in active politics. That is not right. A moment we have the church, the members of the church, the leaders of the church, taking political sides, there we begin to lose it. Because what now begins to happen is that these political players begin to take on the church politically. And you know what happens in the political arena. So issues of disrespect come in. So now you say, how do you disrespect the Archbishop? You understand the point? But why that will happen? It's because perhaps this Archbishop has also sided with a non-political opponent to the people, accusing. You understand the point? So that is where the challenge has been for me. And also, I think the leadership movement part, what we would say is that let the church refrain from active involvement in political activities. I think that one is what is a sober, position that will take Zambia forward. The church has a very important role to play in guiding the nation in areas of spirituality. The church should be there to win souls to Christ, to mend broken marriages, for example, to mend broken families. And listen, Cheswa, even when there is a misunderstanding in the nation between, for example, two political parties or two political leaders, the church should now come in to play the role of mediation.
Have they done
to
that?
reconcile, to bring the two?
Have church leaders done that?
Because of what has been happening in Zambia in the recent past, where we seem as a nation to politicize everything, you find that the church now has been failing to play its role. I think that the church should be able to get to the drawing board and be able to, do things in such a way that they win back that respect, which I feel they are losing. Even just that situation whereby they are being used by politicians because a leader of a church, a pastor, for example, has received some money. This thing is happening in Chawam, where you find, even these same candidates contesting these by-elections, he goes to the church, gives some money to some pastors, so that now is given space to speak, on the pulpit. It's not supposed to be like that.
Don't you politicians do that?
You see, what I'm trying to say, I've never done that, Cheswa. But what we're trying to say is, let the church be able to stop such kind of situations. Because at the end of the day, the interest of the politician is to be there to campaign. So as I immediately pajam church, ambochita campaign. Now, is a church, a political rally? Is a church a place for campaigns? The answer is no. The church is a place where all of us, regardless of political affiliation, for example, should gather to worship God Almighty.
But churches also receive gifts from politicians. They are not moved away. We've seen politicians donate cash, thousands of kwacha to churches, including your president. He has donated cash. Different political parties have donated cash to the church. This motor vehicle we're talking about also alleged to have been a gift towards the bishop. So where do we strike a balance then in differentiating politics from what also the church must receive as mere gifts?
You see, the church is there as a body of Christ, and we know how churches survive. They survive through offering, they survive through tithe, they survive through various forms of support, and they can receive this support from its members, from people visiting the church, from well-wishers, from, all sorts of people that want to support the work of God. So a politician can actually take a gift to the church.
Was it wrong?
Purely because, let me finish this point, purely because that politician is supporting the work of God.
Was it wrong for the bishop to receive a gift?
The gift that was received by the said priest in this context did not even belong to an individual in the first place. It belonged to the state. That was, if I'm not mistaken, a ZRA, a Zambia Revenue Authority vehicle. How do you get a ZRA vehicle? A vehicle that belongs to an institution of government, and it is given to you as an individual in your individual capacity. That doesn't sound right. It doesn't.
Let's talk about Chawama.
So, maybe before that, allow me, Cheswa, to conclude that You know, as a politician, I can get my 10,000 kwacha and give a pastor in Chawama constituency. And as I do that, first of all, I should not give that because I'm a politician. I should give that because I am a member of the church, because I'm part of the body of Christ. And as the church is receiving that, they should receive that purely because I have given and they, in a way, can receive. But that should not mean that now they need to start influencing the flock to vote for me. It's not supposed to be like that. So we need, like you rightly in a way indicated, to strike that balance. Nikabwera mjamchechi kupempera na let me worship like any other congregant. Ninkare pamene pachapene wankara vonse. When the time for offering comes, as everyone else is dropping their money, let me also drop my 10,000 kwacha. Why should it be that as I'm giving mine, I should stand in front of camera and I should go pamene mapemperesera abusa pene stima imidira ise. Pamene paja papao pit paja. Ndiye pamene niende manje nikambe kukamba ma politics because paja nipo pemperera kai. You understand the point? So I think that we need to, you know, just get back to normality as a people, because we seem to be very fast heading in the wrong direction. And that is why, as the leadership movement party, we need to restore the lost dignity of this country. A lot of things in this country have gone wrong, my brother. We are here seeking to form government in this country so that we can demonstrate how best a country should be run. And we are very confident in our president, Dr. Richard Sirumbe, knowing very well that he is capable of taking Zambia to greater heights, as opposed to what is happening today. What has been happening for the past 62 years in this country has been something that leaves much to be desired. Successive governments in this country have failed. We need to get to a level whereby we restore the lost glory in this country.
Our guest this evening is Chawama aspiring member of parliament in Tanzania, Musukuma. You can be a part of the show this evening, and our phone lines are open. We'd like to hear from you. We'd ask you to also push in your questions for the Chawama aspiring candidate. Let's talk about Chawama. I mean, campaigns seem to have intensified with just a few days to go before the by-election. You seem to be one of the popular candidates in Chawama. How are campaigns this far?
Thank you very much for that question, my brother. Indeed, I am a popular candidate in Chawama. And what makes me popular, it's the very fact that I was born and bred in Chawama constituency. That today I live in Chawama constituency.
Well, other candidates were born there too, isn't it?
Which one? Which one, my brother? Which one? I should tell you here that of all the 9 candidates on that ballot paper, I am the only one who was born and bred in Chawama constituency. Some of them perhaps just came to invest, or some of them just came maybe in later years, so they know about Chawama. Or some of them, it's because they cannot contest elsewhere for some known reasons sometimes, so they feel that Chawama is a place. You know, we have a situation whereby muntu kwao kuli kudala MP wa chipani chao. You understand the point, eh? Kwa Menankara, where the guy stays, there is an MP for his political party. So, but even him wants to become MP. So, kuntu kwa menanga imirire chabe, nishini kuchawama, because kwenze manje opposition wao. So you see, we have a very strange situation in this country whereby people will just check it to say, nikuisa ninge minina, nikuisa ninge minina. But it's not supposed to be like that. Member of parliament entails someone that was born, brought up, that lives, interacts, you know, that is of the people that are in that particular constituency,
what have you been
then that one should emerge as a representative of the people.
What have you been able to do for the people of Chawama, even without being MP?
Well, as for me so far, the focus is, you know, on vulnerable support, because that is the area that actually breaks my heart. To see an old woman walking without shoes because she has no one to buy her shoes, because her children are dead and the husband is dead. So she's actually three things. She's a widow, she's elderly, then she's also, you know, poor. To see such a person struggling to meet ends meet, that breaks my heart. Sometimes I feel like crying. So what I've been doing is to identify these and support them in my small way. Although some of us, Cheswa, will not parade ourselves before camera so that people can see what we are doing. But if you went to Chawama, they will tell you, I've been paying rentals for the elderly. Just taking up that responsibility so that in to mamanja kuli landlord. Then we have bought foodstuffs for them. I'm on record. I think you saw at some point, because there was a time when we were doing this and the Diamond TV was there, when I was actually making donations of, you know, foodstuffs to the aged in our constituency. So that has been my area of focus. That is what I would say about that.
Let's take Nathan as our first caller. Nathan, good evening. You're through to Diamond Live. Quickly go ahead with your question or contribution. You've got a minute.
Yes, sir. Good evening. I just want to contribute just a little bit on the question. That Chawama aspirant candidate is dodging the questions. He has been questioned. He has been questioned, but he is not answering straight. But why?
Which question would you like him to answer?
Especially where he was asked about the Archbishop Alick Banda. He didn't answer that question clearly. He dodged the question. He just answered something else.
Is that it, Mr. Nathan?
Hello?
Is that it for your contribution?
Yes, that's what I wanted to contribute, sir.
Thank you.
Right.
It seemed Nathan wants some clarity on issues around the bishop. Any comment from?
My response to Nathan is, and it actually vested in the advice that I gave to all of us actually as Zambians, that we need to, in a way, define our roles as individuals, as government institutions, as a church, and so on and so forth. You know, you cannot be a church but actively participating in politics or being partisan. You need to decide whether to go for priesthood or to become a politician.
What is the message in Chawama? What are you taking as a message in your campaigns?
Thank you very much. A number of things, Cheswa. One, I would like to establish skills development centers. So working with the Leadership Movement Party, we shall establish skills development centers that will offer courses that will be tailor-made. For instance, to have courses in, let's say, tailoring, to produce tailors, to have courses in bricklaying to produce bricklayers, to offer courses in even, like electrical courses to produce electricians. Now, these will be 3 to 6 months courses to inculcate skills in our youths so that they're able to, in a way, engage in self-employment as opposed to 1, being jobless, and 2, relying on government or others to employ them. We have a challenge in Chawama constituency of youths being jobless. And from my assessment, it's because they have no skill. Uzasebenza kuti ulibe qualification iliyonse, then foot at the same time ulibe na skill iliyonse. So what we want is a situation whereby whether muntu anaenda po school or sanaendepo, but kumungene sako mu skills development center, so that achitako ka course just to have a skill. Kapena cheni baking che muntu apunza ko how to bake cakes. Then now we can empower them with some capital to get some flour, baking powder, so that now they're able to bake these cakes. That way, then they're in self-employment. That I will do. Then also, going by my passion, taking care of the vulnerable, we intend as the Leadership Movement Party in Chawama constituency to run a program called the Vulnerable Support Program, VSP. This one will take care of the less privileged in our constituency, the elderly, the widows, for example, including widowers, orphans, even the sick, including people with disabilities. VSP will be about, for example, when it comes to the elderly, we need to identify these, and this is what we shall do. Just identify elderly people in the constituency. Then, when it comes to things like, let me talk about CDF grants, because the CDF is a government facility. So definitely, I will work with that. Let me talk about CDF grants. Channel these to the elderly persons in the constituency.
Isn't that
without them applying? Because you see, a moment mufuna muntaina 8 years to apply for CDF, that one can't work. You find that they don't even understand how to go about applying. Some of them are not even aware that there is such a facility, you understand? So, on their behalf, we process. All they should be able to receive, it's the grant. As simple as that. That I will do. That I will do.
I'll ask you to hold your thought. Let's pick Stephen quickly. Stephen, good evening, and you're through to Diamond Live. Go ahead with your contribution or question. Do we have do we have you, Stephen, on the line? Well, we seem to have lost Stephen. And you were just talking about skills development, and I was just asking, Honorable Tasila Lungu, the former member of parliament, seemed to also have done quite much with women empowerment through CDF programs and so on. How different are these in this initiative that you put on the table for the people of Chawama?
That you say Tasira did can't be seen on the ground. When you come to Chawama constituency, I'm coming from there. Today, I was in Freedom Compound. Today, I was in John Howard, Ward 3. Yesterday, I was in Komboka. The other day, I was in Mrs. I keep asking question deliberately. Kufunsira che dara kuti ninda na ruonsa anatapo benefit mo program yapa constituency office. You find that none will say in. None will say uyu. None. Meaning that there has been nothing in Chawama constituency. You see, that constituency office, like any other constituency office in the country,
but where does the
is expected.
I think it's
expected. Let me finish this point.
To say there's no money going there because there's always CDF going to these constituencies.
Listen, when it comes to CDF, according to the Center for Social Policy Research, 2024 report, the utilization rate of CDF, you know, in Chawama constituency has been between 20 and 30% in the recent past. That is the utilization rate of CDF in that constituency, which is one of the lowest in the country. Then poverty levels in Chawama constituency, as we speak, according to Transparency International Zambia, and also the Center for Poverty, you know, for social, the Center for Poverty Reduction, you find that poverty levels are at 74%. Poverty levels in Chawama constituency as we speak today at 74%. So manje 74% poverty levels. Mungakambe kuti kulivene vimachitika. The expectation is that we have a constituency office, and this constituency office should be able to run programs that improve the well-being of the people, that develop the people, that touch lives of the people, that improve the well-being of the people. Development entails qualitative and quantitative improvement in the standards of living of the people. So there has to be quality, there has to be quantity. In Chawama constituency, when you come today, people may wish to note that Kuku, for example, Misisi, those areas are in Chawama constituency. Kuku and Misisi constituting Nkoloma Wadiwanu of Chawama constituency. Misisi is given as an example of a poor community in this country, and that place is in Chawama. So these poverty levels, 74%, are not a lie, are not a joke. Kulima vuto Chawama. Now,
so CDF is enough, but it's not being managed properly. It hasn't been managed by former leaders.
Of course, we all know that today CDF is at 40%. No one is saying that that CDF is not enough. Cheswa.
What is the problem?
40%, 40 million, right? 40 million kwacha CDF given to Chawama constituency, like it is given to the rest of the, you know, constituencies. But the problem in Chawama has been what? The utilization rate. Perhaps the problem has been because we have not had leaders at these levels of councillor, MP, that are vibrant enough to push for the development, you know, of the people of Chawama constituency. Let me specifically talk about Tasira Lungu. I know she's mourning the late Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. May his soul rest in peace. When Lungu died, I cried. When Lungu died, I cried. But allow me here to say that there was a time when Tasira Lungu went on that prolonged maternity leave. It got to a year, if you remember. At some point, there was the issue of her running away from DEC, the Drug Enforcement Commission. There was that. All those things were in the media. Then now the funeral came. From the time she left to date, she has never been back. So you see that we have had a situation, particularly with Tasira, where she's not present. There is even a case in Chawama constituency where people did work regarding cash for work.
She's not here. Let's focus
cash
on
for work.
Let's focus on the issues.
They never got paid because of our absence.
Let's focus on the
I'm
issues
trying to explain. I'm trying to explain why, for example, CDF is underutilized.
How are you coming to fix things in Chawama? You say you were one of the most popular candidates because you were born there, and you could be the one taking it out of the 9 candidates. What is priority? What are you beginning to fix in Chawama? Let's talk about the issues.
have already mentioned 2 things. I mentioned 2 the skills development centers we shall establish. Then I've already talked also about the community-based enterprises. The other things that we shall do relate to the vulnerable support program, which I have somehow also talked about. Then there is community manufacturing, local community manufacturing, as we call it in the leadership movement part. That one is to add value to some raw materials to process at community level. That is how we even begin to industrialize as a country. Remember that leadership movement is about production. We want to have a productive nation. We can't have a nation of youths that will just wake up and they have no direction, no program, nothing to do. That is not normal. But at the same time, all that is happening, you find that the GDP of the country is very low, you know. So we need community manufacturing initiatives just there at constituency level. A good example is where, for example, we get groundnuts and process them into peanut butter. Is that a difficult thing to do? As we do that, we add value in packaging and everything. Export, if possible, or supply locally to, you know, ShopRite, Choppies, and others. You understand the point? That can be done
but using your influence as a popular person from Chama. Why haven't you lobbied private entities to do this or carry out these initiatives that you say? Does it have to take you to be member of parliament to actualize these manufacturing initiatives?
I'll tell you, yes. It has to take me to be MP for me to be able to work for the people of Chawama. Why? Because these things, you know, that they come with authority. I need to have authority, which we call udindo in Nyanja. Nifunika nankala udindo. When I write a letter, even to those same people you're talking about, nifunika parasi pajana sai nakuti Musukuma Ntazana MP Chawama constituency. Dead stamp. Then it goes. Mine is alemba tabene muntu wamba wapachifundo. Izankara bwanji yomanje bine. So, yes, I'm influential and I'm popular, but I need authority. Why is it that people end up contesting for elections so that they occupy certain positions? So that is why I need to become MP. The other thing also is, when I become MP, I will now have direct input in what is happening, you know, in matters to do with how we should utilize the CDF itself, for example, you know. And there will even be all these other opportunities. It will be easy for me to engage the private sector, like you have put it. Na salary yanga sometimes icheswa. Ninga chosepo. Na chitako empower ka group kama youth. This is what I've been telling them. Like those, the elderly persons. Those can even just come to the constituency office to just live with some, you know, containers of cooking oil, sugar, you know, mini meal. Because we need to take care of the people, and the primary responsibility of government anywhere in the world is to look after its people, of which the legislature is one of the arms, the three arms of government. So we need to work.
How's the atmosphere, the campaign atmosphere at the moment in Chawama?
The campaign atmosphere is good.
Is it free and fair?
No, it's not free and fair. It's not free and fair in that the UPND are buying voters.
How so?
They are buying voters.
How are they buying voters?
They are directly buying the voters, I'm telling you, and we have evidence. It is not free and fair already because the UPND are distributing mini meal. You have heard, you saw that video clip that went viral. It's not free and fair because the UPND, you know, for the first time, have come in Chawama, that's where they are slaughtering their animals from, distributing offers, beef to the voters. But this is a matter we are telling our supporters to what? That Diani Chabe, in the spirit of Don't Chikuwewa, may the soul of Michael Chirufyasata rest in peace. He taught us Don't Chikuwewa. So, vadye. In fact, I'm telling them to say, mudye na honorable Musukuma Ntazana, mumuletereko mumpaseko na yadieko. But on the 15th of January 2026, go vote for Musukuma Ntazana, son of the soil, because you know that he will work for you. He will not run away from you. He will not abandon you. One of the frequent questions they've been asking is, what assurance are you giving us that you will not leave us? Or abamatawa once. So now wamenu kakawina ukuzakatawa. The thing is that the reason I'm contesting, it's actually because somehow we are neglected, we are abandoned. We are a neglected people.
Perhaps they don't trust you because maybe you let them down in the first place. I mean, it is allegedly reported that you left the leadership movement in the first place. how should people trust a candidate that can easily be bought?
Oh, what do you mean being bought? I was never bought. There's a history to that. There's a history to that. There was confusion in 2021. You know, so much confusion that I couldn't go on. And I know the masses were disappointed because they wanted me to be on the ballot so that they make me their MP.
You left at last minute when the leadership movement trusted that they could have a candidate of your stage, and you let the leadership movement down. How should they trust
the departure was in consultation with the leadership movement. Did the leadership movement ever complain publicly, openly, or even to you privately? There was nothing like that. So there was mutual agreement. That is what you need to understand.
Was there money flying around? Were you given money to leave the race?
By who and for what? There was nothing like that. I'm a principled person. I'm Ntazana Muskuma. You understand the point? I could see that we were not heading anywhere because of the confusion that had prevailed, you know, in that kind of a situation.
Have you been given some cash in this election? Have you been given some cash in this election? Have you been persuaded to leave the leadership movement in this election?
The answer to that is no. The answer to that is no. No one has done that. And should anyone do that, I will not accept that. That is corruption. You understand the point? And I'm not here to be bought. Then the dignity of the people of Chawama cannot be bought. And that is why, although my voters card you're just wasting your resources. Because the Chawama has made up its mind. Chawama is going with one Muskuma Ntazana, son of the soil. You know, if Chawama was a monarch, you want to perceive me as a prince of the monarch. You understand? Because I was brought up in Chawama where I still live. I'm on record of stating that my umbilical cord dropped and was buried in the Chawama constituency. It's good you talk so proudly about Chawama. Let's pick a call from Chawama. Let's hear if they feel the same about what you say. Good evening, and you're through to Diamond Live. Please go ahead with your comment or question from, I believe the call is from Chawama.
Yes, please.
Go ahead with your question or contribution.
It's just a contribution. I've avoided what the incoming MP is trying to articulate issues. Very, very important. And we need such people in the Chawama. He's a man of sober mind, and we've read the CV of this incoming MP. A very powerful CV. And those are the people, since independence, we've never touched a person in Chawama with such credentials. Hence, we are behind him and giving massive support. Honorable Ntazana, we are behind you, and thank you so much for the chance I've been accorded. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much indeed.
We would like to pick as many more phone calls and contributions, especially from Chawama. People seem to be having some confidence in your leadership in Chawama. Indeed,
and you see, these are in their masses. Niwambiri, and you know, the time has simply come. The time has come for Chawama constituency to have an MP that will run practical programs on the ground. Programs that people will see. Outcomes that people will feel. To reach their doorstep. Kuti, I've benefited this, and it is coming from the constituency office under the reign of Musukuma Ntazana. That is what I want. Today, as we stay, allow me to just say this thing. Mwenti mankalia kuchawa malero, muntu wanga. Tinkala mongati, nuja mkazi, wakuti alimu relationship. But mwamuna wake, salipo. saoneka, samtumirako phone, samaenda kumonako. You know that feeling whereby you're in a relationship but you feel single. That's how we live in the Chawama constituency. Whereby we have had these MPs, but we feel as if there is no MP. Mundwanga, when I say I'm coming from Chawama constituency, I'm coming from Kuku. I'm on the ground with the poorest of the poor. And there, at that level, we don't see anything, we don't feel anything. But the time has now come.
You seem to
in the history of Chawama constituency,
very confident
to be able to do what?
You're very
to have an MP that
you're very
works for the
confident in having to know that you will be scooping this election. Will you be disappointed if you don't make it? Will you be disappointed with the people for not voting for you if you don't make it in this election?
The people definitely vote for me. If I don't make it in this election, then it is just other external factors like rigging. Because we are dealing with, a tricky regime. Because we have already seen what they are doing. There is someone I know in Ward 3 who is collecting voters' cards and NRCs
Why haven't
from
you reported
people.
them to the police?
The thing is that will the police even do anything?
Why not?
When you are reporting
law enforcement, why should
when
they not
when you
why
are
should
reporting
they not do something about it?
sometimes timamvera less, sometimes timamvera less, because for example, I'll tell you this.
You feeling
I'll
lazy,
tell you, listen,
you feeling lazy
listen.
as a leader to report?
No. Listen to what I want to say. Paso. There's an ECZ campaign timetable. There's an ECZ campaign timetable that all of us are expected to follow. But you find that UPND is everywhere. Why isn't the police stopping that? Why isn't ECZ stopping that? I'll remind you of this. I don't know if you heard about it. When we were fighting in those nominations on that day, in Apezekati we were in front of UPND. But muntu wa ECZ, anambo tipe empaife, ati no, lekani wa UPND bangene first, then mumzangena afterwards. So why should you ECZ in a way seem to be giving preference to the UPND? You understand the point? It is not supposed to be like that. ECZ police have to be very fair, very neutral, and to protect everyone, to give everyone an opportunity in this, like equal playing field, you understand? But somehow we're not seeing that. So question anyway is, tiza reporter vingati and so sometimes tisi yasoche. But if they go on doing that, like distributing a minimum and the beef, we shall just end up now petitioning ECZ. We can do that. We can do that. But in the meantime, we hope that they stop. Because the electoral code of conduct is clear. You cannot be giving those materials during campaigns. Vintu venesmo zopasa ikari boyamba campaign. Then after campaign, sumzagamba na kuvipasa. You understand the point? Yeah.
Let's talk about something that got the country talking the last few weeks. Bill 7. If you were in the House as Member of Parliament before the bill became law, what was your honest assessment and what were you going to have voted for around Bill 7?
Delimitation is a good thing, and it's in the bill, right? So, you see that bill, when there is an issue in this country, because you find that we politicize everything. We politicize everything. We politicize
Before you
everything.
go on, let's also pick Evaristo from Chawama, and then we sum up with Bill 7 as we coming to a near close of the interview. Good evening, Evaristo, and you're through to Diamond Live.
Yeah, how are you, boss?
Very well. How's Chawama doing?
Yeah, so good. But the MP they are talking about Chawama, it's like because Tasila he did a lot of work, but for the new MP, he's supposed to be in the know, because sometimes you find the CDF the people haven't get the money up to now. So abo bamene bakamba ba MP abo ngati bankalapo bazafichite so ngati bazafichita then nisituza konka tuzaona basebenzedwe yawo chamene tufuna kuchawama ni development mwamene muzawo mwamene anali kusebenzera tasila lungu ndiye chamene tufuna ndiye MP wamene tufuna olo bamene bakamba ba MP abo ngati bawina paso simuza bakabaonapo. That's the end. So ifo tufuna muntu wakuti aonekera ku bantu ngati bakamba chilungamo nishi bali mushe
ba Evaristo. Bakambati Batasila, she has not done quite much. Can you are in Chawama, could you point out some of the things you are proud you're proud of having seen that the former MP has done?
Yeah, there is the schools, there is the roads, schools and the roads.
Which school is that
Chawama.
That, yeah, you see, Chawama kuli maskuli ya tatu, to a large extent. Kuli Chimwemwe, kuli Tuatasha, na Chawama.
Chawama primary school.
There have been three, Kairi. There have been three all the years, Kairi. So manje niti ena namanga. Niti skule ena namanga.
Ifo tufuna kumuvoterani Kairi.
Nikufunza niche kutati niti skule ena namanga.
Let's give the caller time. Yes, you can conclude, Mr. Evaristo.
Okay, for conclusion, that's I can say that wa MP watu abo tufuna kubavotera, but chamene nifuna chawe nchilungamo bazikamba 21st straight kuti ati ifwe tuzasebenza nchito yasona so kwasira
zikomo Evaristo
vikachitika na kuchitika kwasira
zikomo.
Okay,
do you already have a plan?
Brother,
do you already have a plan on how many?
Listen, for so many years in Chawama, we have had only 3 schools. Population has been increasing over the years, and these schools we've had are Chimwemwe, Chawama, and Tuatash. That's all. So which school has Tasila built? So you see, you know, Kuchawama people were kind of perception kajakautirati. You know, like Bajawandwe, the Lungu family, because it's been Lungu family. Edgar Lungu, may so rest in peace. Sicharwe, the brother-in-law, and the daughter now Onis Tasila, the 3. They have, you know, held this seat for the past 14 years. Then now people have got this perception like Chawama, those people did quite a lot, maybe because he became president and everything. But there's nothing. There's nothing. You see, and these people came from outside the Chawama constituency. There is no residency in Chawama for anything as well. Are you getting the point? So, all these 14 years, we have been represented by outsiders. Before that, we even had the likes of Sampa Bret, who came from Makeni. We had the likes of Tembo, who came from Makeni also. We had the likes of Geoffrey Samukonga, who came from Kabulonga, you understand? So, Chawama is known for history of importing MPs. I wish wantu wa Chawama mungangene mzimu mwanga kuona kuti ati chamene charengesa ni imirire ni chifuko wa matitawa. Are you getting the point? It's like you, Bwana Cheswa. Things are not working well. Or like if we can give an example of football, for example, so you manjo kambati ningenemo nironge. You understand? As a coach, maybe. If we can give that example. So I'm now taking part in this by-election, hoping to become MP, so that for once I should serve the people in the manner I desire. Because there is a manner I desire. Those people gave birth to me. They took me to school. And today, I've grown a master's degree in government and administration. Lecturer at NIPA. Asking the question in class, who is an MP? What are the roles of an MP? I want to go convert that theory into practice. Ndawe afika wantu wa Chawama, yamene mwana wanu ntazana muskuma, wamene mwakulisa, afu nikamanja akusebenzereni. Akusebenzereni munjira yamene afunika kukusebenzerani moni mwamene vifunika kunkhala vinthu. At the end of the day, Cheswa, I want to be a role model of how an MP should work. What I will do in the Chawama constituency will have to be copied by other constituencies. Then, after I've left the MP seat, because upon Kankarapo, it will be 30, 40 years. They will not remove me because I will deliver. So after 40 years, what will now happen is, but Javasaka Bwerapo, they were again, let me just say this.
How sure you
they were
you will be there for 40 years
to check how I worked, so that they also do the same. I'm telling you.
You will not encourage, you will not leave chance to other.
It's not about leaving chance. It's
young
about
people to come and deliver in Chawama constituency.
It's not about leaving chance and not leaving chance.
But you are,
it is
but you are the same MPs, or you are the same opposition leaders, suggesting that there have been members of parliament in the House for over 20 years, and they are not leaving chance to others, especially now that we're talking about youth that must be part of that parliament. And you're here now telling us that you will be there for over 30 years.
Chawama has been damaged for more than 60 years. What's wrong is in having its son attempting to mend it for 40 years. What's wrong with that? Yeah. It's not about me as an individual benefiting. I'm telling you that I want to go work to save the people, to develop the area. So, and it's the people that give mandate. What if they say, okay, you have delivered, so we shall vote you again, we'll keep you, so that you go on. You understand? When I say that after, when I leave after 40 years, what I mean is that I will deliver, so those people not even accept to bring any other person. That's what I mean. So I'm saying that in that context, to actually say that, I mean each and every word I'm uttering here. Iyo nkani otaba abantu siza kachitika hapo kozi kulibeche mwana wanzero anga taba mai wake na tate wake ino nchoke na mchawama nawaja
politicians want some manam
nawa ero waja nawo ero yo issue okay everipo and I should tell you that this
politicians
yes that thing is very common, yeah,
and you are a politician
that
yourself.
Thing is very common. Now listen, I am here to be different. That is why we are calling for fresh blood, fresh ideas. For once, I want to be a solution to that problem. But of course, politicians should understand the fact that their image, their name, has been seriously dented out there. People have no faith, have no belief, have no trust in a Zambian politician.
Let's pick Oscar.
But we want to do things different.
Let's pick Oscar as our last caller. Oscar, good evening, and you're through to Diamond Live.
Good evening, Cheso. How are you?
Very well. Please go ahead with your quick question or thought.
Yeah, Mr. Cheswa. Good evening to the inspiring MP for Chawama.
Good evening.
Yeah, I just shifted from Chawama to somewhere else. Yeah, Mr. Musukuma, I have a question for you. There's those elders there at the Olofair near Kuku ground where Kakla room built. Have you ever passed through there to interact with those elders? Since you have said that you are there for the elders, those who seek for the help. Have you ever gone there to ask them what they want? From there, there's full of water there in Chawama. Have you passed through to ask the residents of Chawama to say, how are we going to deal with this issue of water which goes into your houses? Again, why don't you appreciate the works with someone which did? Because these other things, we shouldn't just politicize or kapena kukarave against due to, I don't know, I'll use the word hatred. If I offended you for that word, I will apologize, but there's no any other word which I can use apart from that. Because you are talking about to say he hasn't done any other school. The same school, Chawama, it is combined. It is Chawama Secondary and Chawama Basic. Now, they upgraded that Chawama, that building that Chawama Secondary School. They started that project under Tasila Lungu. Now, why can't you not appreciate that same issue which is Tasila Lungu left, and you say, I'll do what my friend left? Why can't you just say like that? Because we are following the way you are speaking, and we do follow what other people are doing. The police post, Tasila Lungu did a lot of police posts there, and a lot of small tamas, pavers. Don't you see all those such things? And he used to move in the water where people they move. Who else can do that? Joshua, these politicians, they should say the truth. They shouldn't just say no. This one he hasn't done anything. The man, he has to say what he is going to do at Chawama.
Thank you.
Not just to say, no, this doesn't.
All right. All right, Oscar. Thank you so much. That was our last caller. He seems very emotional, and he feels you are very unappreciative of what the former leaders have been able to do. I know that you've already made a case that you will do what you will do. Is it not right to just give kudos to what Honorable Tasila has also done?
Our previous caller, Evet Kakumane Mairo, Pajona wa Deep Office, then tikambozunguruka nawo. So that wazifunza abantu kuti ni vichani vyaona kusenzerani wa Tasila. Then wakazimvera venu vayanka vantu. I'm coming from the ground.
But he's
coming from the
too.
ground. But it appears he comes from a different Chawama. Because a person who's a lero, so a person is often saying, people are not seeing, have not seen anything. So I am actually speaking the voice of the people, the marginalized, the abandoned. Someone has described the Chawama today as an orphaned constituency. It's a very serious issue.
Primary
it's
school.
A very serious issue. You understand the point?
Upgrading of the school.
You know, at the end of the day, for Tuswanchani, kumankala nama misplaced priorities. Wamvera, education is not the priority in Chawama. The people of Chawama are lacking the very basic of needs: food, shelter, clothing. You understand the point? There is human development, there is infrastructure development.
Education should be priority.
You understand the point?
Education should be priority as well, because it's
between
what has
food
let
and
you,
education, which is more important.
It's what's let you get your master's degree.
Between food and education, which is more important? If I ask you that question, you would say, which is more important between food and education?
What is more important?
It's food. It's food. In Chawama timakamba tipamala. Tifunika kudya. That's why you notice that most of the things I'm saying here are centered around human development. Simuzakamba, she upgraded the school. Upgrade. Kapananga that Pangakona secondary school you can appreciate. Not upgrading a primary school. You understand the point? Those same pavers he's talking about, do they have drainage? There is nothing. No drainage system in Chawama constituency. Now, I intend when he says you should tell us what to do, to initiate the construction of an effective drainage system in Chawama constituency, so that the issue of floods can become a thing of the past. For once, not what it is today. Kulibema drainage kuja. Poverty is visible in Chawama constituency. It pains me. You understand the point? So not that vantu paribe vamene vama vasevenzera, and then manje babwera pano pretending and masquerading as if they are doing something. Uyu manje candidate wa avenango wa ruling party kali konse kamene kastika muja kasi DF akambati ndiye akachita. You know what I'm trying to say? But you know, it's not supposed to be like that. We need to be very serious with providing the services and goods for our people. Not a situation whereby people cannot feel what we are doing as a government. Yet we are the government. It's not supposed to be like that.
Thank you so much for making time to join us on this edition of Diamond Live.
You are welcome. And thanks for hosting me. Bye-bye, viewers and listeners.
Tazana.